Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your September 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, as the month of September begins, there's a lot going on in the third house, which is the house of the mind, the house of communication, the house that Gemini and its ruler, Mercury, inhabit. And in your chart, this is Virgo. And we have the sun there and we have Mars there. So these are two inner planets that really are connected to your ambition and your goals. I guess you could say that your goals are your ambition, right? But you know what I mean, your drive. I would say that especially with Mars. And this can involve teaching, and especially if it relates to the younger ages, elementary school, even high school can be the third house, I would say. Anything but like college and that kind of thing. And also tutoring. I think of Cancer as one of the teaching signs in particular. And some of you do gravitate towards younger children because you like to nurture them. But if not that, then maybe writing projects. If you're a writer, you're going to feel very motivated because Mars gives you that sense of urgency. And maybe that won't, break through any writer's block. But this can also involve social media in general. So even if it involves blogs or what have you. And the other thing that this involves are your siblings, brothers and sisters, and even other extended family members like aunts and uncles and cousins. Mars can be kind of contentious sometimes, and there might be some kind of conflict between you and them, although it can also be that you're more active with them for some reason. And same thing, third house can be neighbors too in your local area. So you may be getting involved more with your you might be more civics minded and getting involved with your local area for whatever reason now that September has arrived. And actually, Mars and the sun have been in here even in August. So this is not just starting in September. On the 6th, we have a new moon here at 14 degrees of Virgo. So maybe it's a new teaching position. Maybe this can be in the area of learning a new skill. So I would say like taking some kind of a certification course that is, on the shorter end where it doesn't take that long to get certified. And, so for instance, if you're a teacher and you're getting an endorsement, or you're getting a certificate in massage therapy, I don't know, something like that. These are the things that you might embark upon in September. And, anything in that area that I have already mentioned, you could see some kind of new start there. On the 10th, Venus goes into Scorpio. Well, this is a fellow water sign and it's in a great area, the fifth house. It's great because the fifth house is the house of pleasure. It's the house ruled by the sun. So we have these, I would call them easy planets in a sense, where there's not a lot of negative attributes attached to them. The sun, Venus, Jupiter is another one that I'm not including right now, but I mean, it is part of what I would say are more, you could say positive in a lot of ways because there's not as much challenging energy from them. And in the fifth house, Venus can find love if you're looking for it because the fifth house is about love and Venus, of course, is about love. So Venus is also about artistic endeavors, and the fifth house is creativity. So anyone who is artistic or who appreciates art may be spending more time than usual going to galleries, going to the theater, going to concerts. The fifth house is the house of pastimes. This can include stuff you do when you're not working, and whether it's hobbies or just entertainment, this can be what it is. But, I'd like to think that Venus is, giving us a higher form of entertainment, if you will, because to me, there's like this inspirational value that comes from art, that, truly represents what life, it kind of elevates you into appreciating life at a higher level. So that can certainly be what's going on. And also, Venus can be about money. So, in the fifth house, if you have started a business, you might finally be turning a profit. If you are creative, you might decide to monetize your work. And that might be that you're hooking in with the local art scene and finding out where you can sell your paintings or selling them online. Maybe that's what all that third house activity was about. Getting the word out on social media. So all of these things can come into play. Now, in terms of love, this can make you a magnet for love. Venus is the attractor. And we use the word attractive to mean, people's physical appearance. But some people are very charismatic in spite of maybe not being classically good looking. And that is because they have that magnetism that allows them to attract others to them. So on the 14th, Mars goes into Libra. And now we have Mars going into a house that's an angular house. This time it's in front of you, so it's the fourth house of home and family. And Mars here now, again, if you have some kind of beef with siblings, this could also involve your mother, or, I'm just going to say a parent or the parents, because the fourth house can be the mother, for instance. And there may be some kind of dispute that is going on, and you're kind of like, at first you're fighting amongst your siblings, and then you take it to the mother because you realize that she's instigating it. Now, I'm just laying this out. I'm not saying that that's what should happen, or that that's what will happen. I'm saying that's what could happen. And it could happen because of a series of events that are occurring. Now, typically, when I think of fighting within the family, I usually think of some kind of dispute that involves money or involves interpersonal relationships, like who is treating, somebody else shabbily. So, for instance, if you are noticing as an adult that your siblings are getting preferential treatment and you have been very, maybe you just went along with the program and now you're kind of seeing the dynamics and you're becoming more assertive or even downright aggressive, you may have started confronting your siblings, and then, in conversations with them, realize that, yeah, it started with the parents because they were the ones who were the ones who were actually promoting the sibling rivalry, and that, the other siblings were just kids, and that you can't expect more from them than you do from the parents who are actually doing that. So then you take it to the parents. I'm just giving one possible scenario. Like if there's an inheritance issue, I'm trying to think now. So your eighth house would be Aquarius. Oh yeah, that could definitely be what happened because you had two full moons in the eighth house. So maybe something came out with an inheritance issue, and then these secrets were kind of released, that blue moon might have been the straw that broke the camel's back. But whatever is going on, you're always able to stay above the fray, because even if there is deceit, even if money is involved, you don't have to roll around in the dirt if you don't want to. I mean, if you feel that it's going to bring an outcome that is favorable for you, and you feel that's the right thing to do, then that's what you're going to do. But you may just decide that you want to be the bigger person, because to me, fighting over money is undignified in a lot of ways. It's I mean, there are times when it is the right thing to do, because it rewards the person who's being deceitful if you don't, if you just like roll over and allow them to do that. But in general, it's so negative sometimes that it seems like it would be very draining. You have to gauge what your situation is like. But in any case, it doesn't even have to be these things. You might just be spending more time with these people, and for whatever reason, you're visiting, or they're visiting you. Another thing that Mars in the fourth house can be is renovations on your home. So there might be a lot of construction work going on, and that's what that's all about. Um, on the 20th, there is a full moon at 28 degrees of Pisces. So here's another water energy that you've got going on, Cancer, this month. You have it coming from both sides. In this case, this is coming from your ninth house, the full moon. So I would say, like, if you're someone who has been traveling back home, and maybe it's home for you is another country, that's where you're active with your siblings and your parents, because they live in a different country than you. And now it's all over with. Like, you're going to go back to the country that you immigrated to. For some people, this may have, like, you might be graduating college, or getting your master's degree. This can be like a spiritual awakening, or at least some sort of realization. The ninth house can be like spiritual matters too. And you could even have something of a spiritual nature come to fruition. Maybe you've been studying to become a yoga teacher or something along those lines. It's interesting, when I said the term yoga teacher, the recording was at 1313, which is actually like a double feminine number. So on the 22nd, the sun goes into Libra. So the sun goes into that fourth house. This is your house, by the way, the fourth house. So you have Mars and the sun now in that fourth house. And I feel like you're really like embodying who you are. If you're like, for instance, if you have been far away from home traveling and you came back, now you can settle into your home again. And maybe you have a lot to do with Mars there. You have a lot of cleaning, or just rearranging things. Yeah, so then on the 27th, Mercury goes retrograde at 25 degrees of Libra. So that is a very big place for you, the house that you rule, the fourth house. Mercury goes retrograde. Yeah, I was even wondering if some of you are selling your home, and that could be like, especially if you have been living overseas and you decide that maybe you're going to move back home. I don't know. But Mercury retrograde, if you are selling your home, there may be some issue with the contract. It doesn't mean that it won't go through, or maybe you're buying a home. It doesn't mean that it won't go through. I think it's more likely that you're buying a home because there is going to be a new moon next month in October in this house. So that might be like a new beginning in the house of home and family. But the other thing is you might be rethinking selling your home. Something about home has to be like thought out more. There's some information you don't have. There's something you need to get secured. Paperwork could be involved. So just giving you a heads up on that. It's a very short-term thing, Mercury retrograde. Sometimes it feels like forever because I think they're hyped up so much in astrology, but really they're just a matter of weeks. And yeah, there are shadow periods before and afterwards, but if you are aware of these things, you can navigate them much better because you know, like if there are any snafus, then you go, okay, this is Mercury retrograde. It'll sort itself out in a matter of weeks. Okay, that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings, which are natal chart interpretation plus, and that's a full-length hour, and a full-length transits reading for an hour for a special price. It's called the Deep Dive reading, and I have other readings and another special with a double reading. You can check that out at the link below. I'm at rainamoonastrology.com. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.